What's in this box represents a danger to us all. Farmers, homesteaders, DIYers, moms, dads, grandparents, kids coming up. This little box contains a synthesizer, a full-blown music-making synthesizer. Check this out. Here it is. This is all of it. This is 100% a complete kit that is a professional sounding, professional performing synthesizer and reverb unit and effects generator, and it's all right here. Now, why the potential danger, Brad, you say? And I say, I will tell you. But first, watch this. Okay, done. So let's fire this little thing up and I'll tell you why I think we should be paying attention to this kind of technology. Pretty cool. So what's the big deal? Is there a big deal? Partial big deal? No big deal at all? Brad, you're just being goofy. Okay, well, here's the scoop. A device that could have made a sound like this in the, like 1978, 1976 alone, there wasn't one. You would have had to have a synthesizer like a Moog, mini Moog synthesizer, which would have been thousands of dollars, but it was one note at a time, and it would have no effects, none of the reverbs, none of all that kind of stuff that makes it sound spacious. That would have been a rack of effects that would have been another several $1,000s. And then even then, it would never have had the flexibility that this little box cost. And this little box cost about $80. Now, why am I using this as an illustration for what I'm getting ready to tell you? Well, it's because I'm in the music industry. I'm in the music field, video production, all that kind of stuff. So I see this stuff coming down the pike, and it's coming faster and faster and faster. And that is this. Technology moves on. Duh, Brad. Of course it does. But it's moving faster and faster and faster. It used to be like this, like a curve. Now it's like this. And it's getting ready to be like this. And so here's the question. I mean, it's in everything from, John Deere tractors. I mean, think about that legal battle they're having right now with how much John Deere is saying, you cannot fix your own tractor because the computer and all the blah, 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 we're going to control that and you can't fix it on your own. You got to go through our guys. You've got computers in your refrigerators with cameras looking at what all you have in there, sending email lists to your phone to remind you what to pick up. You've got computers embedded in your blood now. There are nanotechnology robots that can go in and clean out people's blood. A lot of this is really, really great stuff. But what's happening, if you look at the things like the metaverse, where you have this virtual world where you never have to leave it and you can constantly be the king of any domain that you ever thought up, and you never have to do anything. You never have to actually be in the real world. More and more technology is creeping in. Think about how many things that your smartphone can do. Think about, some of it's really great, but then think about where it always goes. And technology is getting smaller and smaller and more cost effective, more easy to remove the humanity that we live in from us. Think about all of the production robots that are out there, and more and more people are losing their jobs. Now you may say, okay, Brad, here's the big question. You may say, all right, well then those people are free to do something else. What? If you don't have a job, are you just assuming that someone else will pay for your life? Well, that's not like me. I don't assume that someone else is going to do that. So here's the question, and this is not supposed to be doom and gloom, none of that. Actually, the question is, how much tech do you let into your life? Because how much are you going to give up for convenience? What is convenience worth to you? Are you saying that you're willing to give up all of your privacy so that you can have Facebook lock-in with Google, with this, with that, and it has all of your phone numbers and all of your facial recognition, and it knows what you think before you think it? Don't forget, guys, Google, one of their stated goals is predicting the future. And so far, they're getting really close to it, especially when disasters happen in big cities. They actually can predict where people will go, what they'll do, depending on the disaster, depending on where they're at, because they monitor all the communications and they know what phones are doing. They know what this is doing, that, who's trying to email who, and they can tell with a very, very good certainty as to what's going to happen, where you'll go, what you'll do. Now you combine that with ever increasing cameras and facial recognition and all of that stuff that's everywhere all the time. Pause. Now you say, Brad, well, you're in that world. Why are you trying to say this? Well, first of all, I'm saying this because I am in this world and I understand that there's going to be a level of which I say no more. That's just it. Here's the level of convenience that I am going to allow in my life, and that's no more. If the world has to pass me by, well, I'll try to figure out a way to exist and make money, and that's one of the reasons why we're homesteading, guys. I hope you see that. We're learning how to feed ourselves without having to go into the big box stores. We're learning how to fix things so we don't have to rely on the system for every little thing. We're learning how to generate our own electricity so we can be completely off grid at one point. We're learning these things so that when the time comes, we will still have some level of convenience. But if we don't, okay, we'll still survive. And here's the thing, we'll still be happy. That's the important thing. You got to understand, our happiness doesn't come from stuff or this world. Our happiness comes from our relationship with God. The question I have for you is, at what point do you say, okay, no more? Because it's coming faster than you think. I mean, this is just a silly little example because I needed another reverb unit in my studio. And I thought, well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, this kind of thing, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's going to be everywhere. Google what Elon Musk is doing with brainwave research with monkeys. Yeah, it's reality right now. They can actually use chimpanzees' brainwaves in an interface with a computer, and the chimp can play video games. We're getting there faster than you think. So that said, comments are welcome as long as you're nice, because life's too short to be tolerating yahoos. So anyway, there it is. Just a thing to think about. There you have it. I'm Brad. You have an awesome and blessed day.